acting on complaints from the public, Senator Charles Grassley, who is the top-ranking Republican on the Senate Finance Committee, has launched an investigation into 6 so-called Christian nonprofit ministries run by televangelists. However, this should come as no surprise to anyone who watches Christian television or attends a church where the so-called prosperity gospel is preached. The whole idea behind the prosperity gospel preached by the prosperity televangelist is that the world's here for the taking. Material success is a very important part of being a Christian. You can be rich and accumulate all these type of amenities that obviously Jesus Christ didn't have. In fact, I think it goes basically against the Jesus of the New Testament, who was homeless most of his life. He was an itinerant preacher. He hung around with what was called the despised trades, such as the tax collectors. He routinely attacked rich people, saying that it would be tough for them to get into heaven. Not that he was against people having money or owning things, but accumulating wealth for the sake of accumulating wealth, which Jesus attacked. In fact, he said, don't lay up treasures in heaven. An example of prosperity gospel televangelists is Jan and Paul Crouch, who are on the Trinity Broadcasting Network, or TBN, which is one of the most watched Christian television networks in the world. Crouches live lavishly. In fact, if you watch their show, it looks like they're sitting on gold thrones and very, very expensive sets, very nice office building. Jan and Paul Crouch have a combined salary of over $700,000, and they have 30 homes that are ministry homes owned by TBN that are available for them to live in. Of course, there are going to be people who are going to counter, and they're going to say, aren't these people spreading the gospel of Jesus? Well, as I look around America, as some people say this country's going to hell in a handbasket. Morality is an all-time low. And so the major Christian denominations are having a very, very low impact in the culture. And I think there's one reason why they're not. They're not spiritual. We've lost the spirituality that Jesus epitomized. And you can't preach materialism and be spiritual at the same time. The two just don't fit together. As Jesus said, what does it profit a man to win the world and lose his own soul? But the idea that's being pushed here, and I think this is really troublesome, is that the people out in the congregation, many of them are poor people, the people who are watching these prosperity gospel networks are being told they can be rich just like the folks they see on TV preaching. Well, that's a lie. The influential pastor Rick Warren has come out and attacked the prosperity gospel, saying it's baloney. He says if it were true, everybody in the church would be millionaires. But we know that's not true, and they can't be. Jesus was an ascetic. What he taught was you deny yourself for others. That's a spiritual principle. You don't store up treasures here on earth for the sake of just storing up treasures. As the Apostle Paul says, the love of money is the root of all evil, the love of money. And it certainly looks like people who are driving around Rolls Royces, flying in jets. One ministry has been accused of buying a $23,000 toilet. That's accumulating wealth. And so the answer out of this is we just need to get back to the teachings of the New Testament and really look at who Jesus was. And to be honest with you, I think today if Jesus was to walk into some of these prosperity gospel churches or watch what they're teaching, he'd be abhorred.